Did you know that it's possible to see photos and private profiles on the Instagram? Now it is possible. It does not matter if somebody blocked you or if you do not have permission to see the profile. Throughout Insta Private Viewer, you will be able to see this. We created something exclusive that can help you to see the profiles private or look at easily. And the most important, with anonymity and security. With this way, you will have access to all content of the profile, photos, videos, and activities. To use these tools is very simple and fast. It is just following the instructions. Step 1. Access our search engine. Step 2. Report the code generated by your activator. This process is necessary to prevent robots from using our system. Step 3. Our system will validate the informed code. Report the username of the profile you wish to view. Step 5. Let our tool do all the work. Step 6. See the profile desired safely and anonymous throughout the link generated. And then, did you like it? Access now for free and get access to the private profiles of the Instagram you too.
Business since 2019. Everyone is on Instagram right now. So if your business is not on Instagram, then you're definitely missing out and you definitely need to be on Instagram. Now that everyone is on Instagram, it is so important for you to be able to build your business as a brand that people are going to fall in love, that people can connect to, that people would trust and purchase from. Now, how do you do that? That's the topic of today's video. I'm going to be sharing the top 5 tips and how do you achieve that right now. Number 1 tip is to create something that is visually pleasing and consistent. For example, it's so much more pleasing for us to scroll through a feed like this versus a jumbo feed like this. There's no consistency, nothing is on brand, and at the end of the day, Instagram allows us to tell a story, allows us as brands to tell a story that invokes an emotion for someone that is scrolling through a feed like this, whether it be something that is for comfort or whether it is to convey security and confidence. It's very, very important for us to be consistent with the theme that we're trying to portray. That's why tons of companies are spending so much money and effort into shooting high production value photos and videos to be able to put on their feed and actually portray it in a way that tells a story. And at the end of the day, that's very, very important for you to create something that is on brand, whether it be someone consuming your product or using your product, or it could be a lifestyle shot of how people would feel after using your product or service. It is super important to be consistent with that, whether it be the colors or whether it be the type of photos we're shooting. These are all very important things when building an Instagram account for your commerce brand. The second tip in building a kick-ass brand on Instagram is to have a clean bio. And what I mean by that is when people are coming into your Instagram account, you only have 2 seconds to tell them and convey what you're doing. So if your bio is not clear and it's beating around the bush, then the person that is visiting your account, they're not gonna want to read through the whole thing. They're not gonna understand what you're trying to say and what you're trying to do. For example, this itself is an amazing bio because it tells people what they do in a glance. Whereas this one, we have no clue what they're doing. That's the reason why it is super important for us to understand and have clear bios, because we want our customers to understand what we're offering. And secondly, we want to make sure that we only have one call to action. I see so many times people are like, hey, you know what? I am offering a 5-day course and this is my 7 habits PDF that you would want to download. These are too many different call to actions. It is so important to have just one call to action that you want your customers to take, and just leave that in the bio in the section below, and then that way people would know exactly what to do. Just one action, one clear bio, and that's gonna make your brand a lot cleaner than other people who are messy. So as a recap, you need to make sure that your bio is super clear in terms of who you're serving and what you do, and in turn giving them one call to action, because that's what you're going to be able to get in terms of attention from your people. At the end of the day, if you want to create a brand that is amazing on Instagram, Be very, very clear in terms of who you're serving, be very clear on what you provide, and be very clear in the action you want them to take. The third tip is your captions. So many people have really, really vague captions. When you're creating captions, this is your opportunity to tell people what you stand for, opportunity for you to invoke emotions. That's the reason why you have to tell a story. Tell a story that invokes emotions, that connects to your brand. Tell a story through your captions, and when people that are actually reading through it, they're gonna be able to understand what you're trying to portray through your brand, and this itself would be a lot more engaging to your customers and to the people who are viewing your profile. The fourth tip in creating a kick-ass brand is social proof. It is one thing for you to tell the world how great you are by your Instagram posts, but it's another thing if your collaborators, influencers, and better yet, your customers tell the world how great your brand is. And for us to be able to do that, we need to make sure we intentionally create this movement and allow your customers to share with the world how great your product is, so in turn you can repost that. By you being intentional with this strategy, whether you be telling them, incentivizing them by discounts off, draws, contests, or simply providing them with a hashtag that they can share their love with the world and their experience with the world, this itself is very, very important. For example, Casper did an amazing job with their mattress unboxing videos, and that itself created a viral movement amongst all their customers, and in turn, a lot of people buy more and more from them because they're able to intentionally create this movement. So for your business, I definitely recommend you to create an avenue and be intentional with how your influencers would be sharing their experience and interaction with your product or your service. Same thing with your customers. If they tell the world how great your business and your services are, it's 10 times better than if you promote that within your own Instagram account by you telling the world how great your business is. The number 5 tip is to engage with your audience. Just because you have, let's say, 5,000 customers and hundreds of responses on a daily basis does not mean you don't need to reply to your customers. Your fans are built one at a time, and it is very, very difficult for you to build that momentum. So it is super important for you to always engage with your customers all the time, whether it be DMs or comments. You can see that these people are doing an amazing job replying to their comments, even though they have hundreds, if not thousands of comments. And that is super, super important if you want to be able to create a brand that people recognize with and connect with, because every customer counts. Imagine you're on the other end is writing a comment on Dwayne Johnson's Instagram profile, and all of a sudden he replies you with an emoji or replies you in comments and acknowledges you. How happy would you be? And that's the reason why some people can create brands that really engage with their customers, while others are lacking in that because they ignore their customers. At the end of the day, we need to understand behind that Instagram account is another person. And if we acknowledge them, then that's how we can start building that relationship. And that's where engagement comes, and that's where brand loyalty is starting to form. So there you go, the 5 tips in creating a kick-ass brand on Instagram for your e-commerce business. Number 1 way is to create something that is visually pleasing and consistent, so then that way your customers and the people that are viewing it can truly invoke their emotion and they can truly connect them with. Second is to have a clean bio section with a clean call to action. You only have 2 seconds to attract your customers and tell them what to do. Make sure you optimize that. Number 3 is to create posts that is engaging, okay? Posts, visually speaking, when you stop them and you catch their attention, you need to have content, caption that really tells a story, because that's your opportunity to develop and deliver the value across the screen. 4th is to have social proof for your brand. It doesn't matter how good you tell the world you are. It matters if your customers tell the world how great your brand is, which is the reason why you want to work with your influencers and your customers. Be intentful and create that journey, so then that way they can share their experience with the world. And number 5 is to make sure you engage with your customers. Remember, on the other end of that Instagram profile is another human. And if you're able to engage with them, then they can start communicating with your brand, and that's where you're going to be able to create a brand that has loyalty, that people can buy from you, and at the end of the day, you can create a brand that can sell in the future. That's it for today. If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. Otherwise, see you guys next week. Oh, by the way, in the section below, download all the free resources. I'll see you guys next week.